Yeah, good morning all. Yes, yeah. Yesterday we have seen how a software development happens and what are all the models we follow while we are creating an application or developing an application. So we have seen many, but the major following models are waterfall model, agile model, and the latest one is DevOps model. When you decided that you are going to create an application, okay, just a second, guys. You need to know where you are going to host your application. Once your application is ready, where you are going to host your application. If you host it in your local computers or in your local servers, that may not be available to the entire world and that may not serve the traffic whatever your application is getting. Let's say your application is getting very famous and in a day there are lakhs of people accessing or trying to access your application, but you are hosting your application in only 5 to 10 servers, that too in your local area, maybe in your home or in your office, wherever you are comfortable. But if you take server capacity wise, a server can serve up to 100 users at a time. Generally, even I am saying a very good server, a server can serve up to 100 users at a time. If the traffic goes more than 100 users, let's say 1000 users in an hour, maybe 1 lakh users in a day, obviously your server may get hanged and your server may go unresponsive. It can't respond for the other user requests. In such cases, what people will do to overcome this type of issues only, even to overcome this type of issues only, sorry, a concept came called cloud. So what is cloud and why the name cloud came? Cloud is nothing but a physical data center which you can't see. It's an invisible data center. Cloud is nothing but a physical data center which you can't see, or else it's an invisible data center. Okay, you are saying that cloud is a physical data center. Then what is data center? The name itself says data center. See, when you are creating an application, your application is nothing but a data. It may be a source code file, it may be images, or it may be any content that you want to show in your website. That is nothing but data. You want to centralize all your data in one place. You want to centralize all your data in one place. That's the reason they call it as data center. It's not about only you. There are hundreds of people who want to store their data or host their data or upload their data to a safe place where it can be accessed from anywhere in the world at any time. If you have your data in your local computer, you need to carry the computer wherever you go. Even if you save your data in a separate hard disk, like external hard disk, but even you need to carry that. Even if you carry the hard disk, again you need another laptop to access that. But when you upload your data or host your data in a data center, it's just you need to have a internet connection and a laptop. It's not your own laptop. You can go to the external any internet cafes and from there you can log in into your account and you can access all your data. It is available to you 24/7, 365 days. No power outage, no network outage. Everything is taken care by the data center owner. Everything is taken care by the data center owner. So now coming back to cloud. Cloud is nothing but a physical data center. So when you are saying data center is a centralized location for all your data and you can access the data from anywhere in the world at any time. But why they called it as cloud? Let me give you an example. Let's say I am in Hyderabad, Nagendra in Chennai, and some other person maybe in Vizag or Pune or Bombay. So there is a chance that these three persons can see one cloud at a time, right? When the cloud is in the sky, so there is a chance that three persons can see the same cloud, not one cloud, the same cloud, maybe not at the same time, but different times. But there is a chance that these three people can see the same cloud whenever they want to see. Going up another example, take moon only. So everybody in the world, maybe from India or from Australia, from Europe, everybody can see the moon based on their time zones. Everybody can see the moon based on the time zones. and the moon is hosted in sky. And the moon is hosted in sky. So in the same way, your data you are hosting in data center and you can see it at any time whenever you want to see. Your data is hosted in the data center and you can see them. I mean, you can see the data whenever you want to see. It's just that you need to have the right access. Like if you want to see the moon, you need to have the site right side. Not all the people can see the moon. The same way, if you want to access your data, you need to have the right access to access your data. Like if your data is hosted in some data center, you should have an account in the data center's virtual machines. You should have an account in the data center's virtual machines. So these accounts and these data is being maintained by the cloud operators. Again, I'm telling you, whenever I say cloud, you need to think that, okay, cloud is nothing but a physical data center, but which I can't see. If you are in India, your data is going to sit in US data center. If you are in India, your data is going to sit in US data center. You can't see the data center and you don't know where the data center is. But you will be in a secure idea that, okay, my data is secure in somewhere in the world. But you are not sure where the data center is located. That's the reason they named it as cloud. Because cloud is there in the sky and it is very strong concept of cloud. So generally cloud can load lots of water. So that's the reason they named it as cloud. Cloud means they can host anything, lots of data. So whatever data centers they are creating and they are maintained by cloud operators. So the famous cloud operators nowadays in the market are majorly there are only 4. The first one is Google, second one is Amazon, third one is Microsoft, and the fourth one is, maybe you never heard this, but the fourth one is Facebook. Google, Microsoft, Amazon and Facebook. These 4 has the world's largest data centers. The world's largest data centers. So a typical data center will looks like this. Just give it a minute time, guys. See, this is a kind of data center. Inside this, what we have these kinds of racks which are loaded with millions of terabytes of data. See the racks. These all are nothing but servers, CPUs, hard disks, storage devices. You can go to data center. See, these all are racks. They call them as racks. Inside these racks, they have CPUs, hard disks, storage devices, virtual machines. This is inside data center and this is outside of data center. Okay. A data center is very much secured location. Even if the data center owner, let's say if this is Microsoft data center, if Satya Nadella want to see what is there inside the data center and he want to access some server, he can't see the data. He cannot see the data. Why? Because in a data center, a virtual machine is dedicated to the person who opted it. In a data center, a virtual machine or a storage device is dedicated to the person who opted it. That means if I want to have an account in this data center, obviously my account will be one virtual machine, one server. But to that server, only I will be having the access. If I don't want the data, immediately they will destroy the data and they will clean up the hard disk and they will rent it to some other person. The data center devices or data center servers are given to you on rental basis. It may be hour basis or day basis. Some people will take it on monthly subscription or yearly subscription. This is how things happen in data center. Actually, how this data center concept came. There is a small story. I will give you in 5 minutes short. First, the data center concept came. Okay, first the data center concept came from Google, but people don't know the data centers are before Google already there. No, actually the data center first concept came from Google. So why Google started data center? If you see, most of you people have Gmail account. Most of you people have Gmail account, and you are getting mails, you are receiving, sending. There are thousands of or maybe hundreds of mails in your mailboxes. But those mailboxes are not in your local computer. Even if you go to your mailbox and if you see the spice, just let me give you an idea. It's not a problem. So if you go to your mailbox and if you go to the bottom of the page, you will see the space of your mailbox. See, I have 15 GB space. Out of my 15 GB, I used 3.7 GB. Out of my 15 GB, I used 3.7 GB. But this 15 GB is not from my local computer. Okay, whatever hard disk I have in my computer, that is not from that 15. That my local hard disk, the 15 GB. The 15 GB is from somewhere where Google has their own data centers. Inside the data center, they have their servers, and inside the servers, they have their hard disk. And from their hard disk, they are giving me 15 GB. This 15 GB is free. If you want more than 15 GB, you need to pay Google. Google is ready to give you more data, more space. But if you want more than 15 GB, you need to pay. So Google is maintaining all your data inside their own data centers. So please be in an idea that data center is created when Gmail is created. If you are using Gmail, then from the point Gmail is created, the data center is there. It's not like that, okay, the cloud concept and data center concept came just 5 years or 10 years back. No, the cloud concept and data center concept came almost 20 years back. It's not new. It's very old. It's just that people don't know, like there is a cloud, there is a data center, we can use their resources. But when this came into commercial market, even though Google has their own data centers and they have their own separate cloud, but they are not giving it to other people. Who started this renting these resources to other people? Then the answer comes as Amazon. Amazon started this cloud market. Amazon started this cloud business. You already know Amazon is a commercial website where you are selling goods and purchasing goods. So Amazon started in United States, America. They started hosting their devices. Maybe they initially Amazon used to sell books. So they want to show people that I have these many books. These are the images of the books. These are the contents of the books. So first they have 1,000 books. They can save the data in 1 or 2 servers. Then they got 1 lakh books. So 2 servers are not enough. I want to have 10 servers. Then they got millions of books. So what Amazon did was they planned, okay, let me create a data center. Data center is nothing but a centralized location of all your data. They created a data center and they hosted all their books, their images, their data and the price details, user details, everything in their data center servers. Let's say they have created 1 lakh servers. 1 lakh servers, out of which 50,000 servers are sufficient for their use. 50,000 servers are sufficient for their use. But the remaining 50,000 are sitting idle. They are not being utilized. Then Amazon thought, okay, why I am keeping these 50,000 servers? The power supply is waste, network supply is waste, the cooling system. When you are running servers, obviously you need to have proper cooling system. If the temperature goes beyond certain limits, the systems may get hanged and they may get into fire. So obviously cooling system is required. The power supply is required. So without using those 50,000 servers, we are giving power supply and we are keeping them in the network and we are giving them cooling as well. So then Amazon decided, let me ask some other people if they want servers, they can use my servers. If they want servers, they can use my servers. They no need to pay the entire cost of the server. How much time they use, they pay for the time itself. That is enough for me. Why? Because anyway the servers are sitting idle. They are not going to earn 1 rupee from the servers. They are simply idle. If they keep it idle for 1 year, it's just lack of money. So what Amazon did was, they started renting it to external people. If you want servers, I have 50,000 servers. Someone came and they said, okay, I don't want 50,000 servers. I want only 1,000 servers. I want only 1,000 servers, but I am from India, but your servers are in US data center. How can I access? Okay, I will create a virtual network. I will create a virtual network. See, if you are getting an internet connection, obviously the internet provider will pull a wire from their office to your home, connecting between the poles and the routers, whatever there is the hubs. There will be router hubs. Connecting all the hubs, it will bring the wire from their office to your home. But when you say from US to India, you can't pull the wire from India to US, right? So what they did was they created a virtual network. Virtual network in the sense their resources and your accessor both are in same network, but the network is not visible, but you are in same network. That's called virtual network. So now even though from you are in India, you can access the servers. Accessing the servers means you are going to have a user account inside the servers. Once you log into the servers, you can do anything. You can host your files, you can upload your files. Once you upload your files, if you move back to US or if you move back to Europe or Australia, from there also you just need to connect to the virtual network. Whatever virtual network they created, first you need to connect to the virtual network, and from inside the virtual network you can log into the server where you have your data. It's only that you need to know the IP address. Once you know the IP address of the server, you can simply log into the server and do all your work. Once you are done with the work, you can just log off from the computer. No need to shut down or no need to restart. No need to shut down or no need to restart. Why? Because the computer is having 24/7 power supply and the right cooling system. You don't need to worry that, okay, if I keep this server on for 24 hours, this may get hanged. No. Amazon will take care of everything. That's the reason they are collecting the rent. The rent is nothing but the power supply, cooling systems. These are the money they are collecting. Why? Because you are using the servers. The server is already there. So Amazon has not purchased a new server. They already purchased and they are keeping it idle. So to just earn money from them, they are collecting some money from you. That too on rental basis. If you use for one day, just pay me for one day. Once you say that I am done with your work, you can go off. I will destroy all your data. I won't save your data. Even if you want to destroy by your own, I will give you the mechanism. You can destroy all your data and hand over the server to me. Like how you will format your pen drive once you are done with your work. The same way you will, they will format their hard disk. The same way they will format their hard disk. That means they will erase all your data, and again they will ask some other person, hey man, I have 10 servers free. If you want, you can use them. So this is how Amazon started the commercial business. There comes this cloud operations, cloud operator, data centers. So the Amazon got this idea got very famous and people started asking Amazon, I want 1,000 servers, I want 1,000 servers. Somebody came, I want 10,000 servers. Then Amazon started creating new data centers. Earlier Amazon has only one data center, but they started creating new data centers. And the idea got famous, and from other countries also. From Europe they got demand, from Australia they got demand, from South India, from South Africa, from all over they got demand. And then they started building these data centers around the world, not only in America. They started creating these data centers, building these data centers around the world. Recently, last year, Amazon announced that they are going to build a data center in Hyderabad, in India, that too in Hyderabad. I think in Bombay, they already have a data center, but now they are building another data center in Hyderabad. So the data center size-wise, it will be, if you have idea about a football ground, generally a data center will be more than 10 football grounds combined together. More than 10 football grounds combined together. So football ground is larger than cricket ground. Football ground is larger than cricket ground, but this data center area is more than 10 football grounds together. There are data center types. Okay, there are data center types based on the size. Maybe this image is not clear. Yeah. So mini data center. It comes within 250 square feet. Small, medium, large, massive, and mega. Okay, these are types of data centers. So based on the data required, based on the capacity required, based on the user base, based on the customer request, the cloud operators, like we said, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Facebook, these are the famous cloud operators. The cloud operators will create the data centers based on the request. So let me show you another. See, if you see this data center, this is just a single building. Maybe inside there are multiple server racks, but if you see this data center, there are almost 8 or 9 blocks. 8 or 9 blocks. Even the each area will be more than one football ground. It's not one football ground, more. And if you see the location, even if you see the other image, if you see this location, this is not at all near to any city or any place. This is somewhere in remote location, maybe outskirts of the city or somewhere in the rural area where they will have the right power supply, right wind supply, everything.
Uh, Normally, they will locate near the hills areas,
Okay.
Janasancharam Reni areas,
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Rural, remote place.
remote places.
Yeah. Well, because they don't want to get it with any natural calamities
Yes.
like floods, maybe rains or fire accidents. Okay, now going into our concept. So we came to know what is cloud. Okay, what is cloud? Cloud is nothing but a physical data center where you can use all the resources. But inside the cloud, we have three concepts. We already know Amazon started renting their resources to some other people so that they can use them. And once they are done with their work, they can destroy those data. Okay, they can destroy those and they can rent it to some other people. So within the data center, if you are giving 10 servers to some other people, 10 servers for some other people, that means inside one data center, you are having multiple people's account and we are maintaining all of them into one area, maybe one network. Then that is called public cloud. Then that is called public cloud. Public cloud in the sense, all of you, maybe let's say I have some data, other people have some data, and other people have some data. All this data is going to sit in one server. All this data is going to sit in one server or maybe one place or one rack. That set of servers is called a rack. A rack we have multiple servers. Okay. This is data center terminology. Rack means a set of servers. Rack means a set of servers. Within a rack, if you have multiple accounts or multiple people data, then that is called public cloud. That means you are allowing some other people to come into your same server, but you are saving your data in local disk C, the other people saving same data in local disk D, but you both are in the same server. And I already told you, data centers are highly secured. Even the data center owner, let's say Satya Nadella, go to some Microsoft data center, and if you want to see the data in one server, he won't have access. He will not have access. They are highly secure. They are highly secure. So when you are having multiple people in the same set of racks or same set of servers, then that is called public cloud. Public cloud in the sense we are giving access to multiple people within the same network or within the same set of racks or within the same servers. And these public servers or these public cloud data is accessible from anywhere in the world without any virtual network needed. You don't need separate network. You can access it from your open internet connection. You can access it from your internet connection. You no need to join any virtual network. If anyone of you are already working, there is a concept called VPN, Virtual Private Network, VPN. If you are working in your organization, if you want to access your office mail or if you want to access some of your resources, first you need to join the VPN. Then only you will be able to access your files. But when you say public cloud, you don't need to join any VPN. You can access the files inside the data servers from the internet connection itself, normal internet connection. That means you can go to any internet cafe and you can log in from there. This is called public cloud, open network. There is no separate network, open network. Anyone can access these servers from anywhere. But some people thought, okay, this is little bit not secure. Why you are allowing other people to access my server, that too from internet connection, not even from private network. They are accessing my server, but from the random network. So it is showing that there is lack of security. They can hack the system easily. Then the concept came as private cloud. Okay, you want sub security. You want to keep your data private. Okay, I will keep all your data in separate servers, not on the same servers, in separate servers, where you tell me to whom I need to give access. These are separate servers. The network is separate. I won't allow some other people to join the network. I won't allow some other people to join the network. There are only very less people, only the designated people. If you want to give access to 10 persons from your office, only these 10 persons will access the data. That too, these persons, if they want to access the data, they need to join this virtual network. They need to join this virtual network. For suppose, if you are having your data in US, the persons who want to access the data, they should be in US network only, not from India. The network varies from country to country. So you will come to know by seeing the IP addresses. The network is identified by the IP addresses. If they know your IP address, they can tell you from where you are accessing. I will show you this general example. If I go to details, see, I am accessing it from India, Telangana. I am accessing it from India, Telangana. But one day, maybe a couple of days back, I accessed it from India, Maharashtra. I accessed it from India, Maharashtra. Here they are clearly showing this is mobile, and now this is browser. Even the browser is from Chrome. Even the browser is from Chrome. So this way, see, this computer is using IP address 103.88 and this is from India, Telangana. TG means Telangana. This computer is using IP address. This is the IP address. This is from India, Telangana. This way, by knowing your IP address, they will come to know from where you are accessing. If your servers are hosted in private cloud, by seeing your IP address, they will block you. They won't allow you to access the data. Why? Because you need to join their private network where there are some designated IP address. Okay, if you want to access the data, you need to be in this IP range. The IP range starts from 10.1.1.1 to 10.10.10.10. So you need to be in this IP range. How can you join those IP range? You need to have access on the VPN, virtual private network, where the organization, while creating this virtual private network, they will be deciding from what IP to what IP I want to assign to this virtual private network. Guys, this is networking concept. I'm just giving you an idea. Don't get confused. Okay, this is networking concept. I'm giving you just an idea. While creating the virtual network, the organization can decide, I want this virtual network should be using from this IP address to this IP address. So there is a limitation. 10.1.1 to 10.10.10. So once you join this IP network, obviously your IP address will be between this range only. So if 10 people are joining the virtual network, then the IP address starts from 10.1.1.1 to 10.1.1.10. Okay, 10 addresses allocated to 10 users. Now these 10 users can access the resources which are there in private cloud. But when you have in the public cloud, there is no specific IP, there is no specific network. Anybody can access the data from anywhere in the world. Just they need to have the internet connection, normal internet connection, no virtual network or no private network. So that is called private cloud. Even though your data is hosted in cloud data center, but other people cannot access the data unless they join the virtual network or unless they have the right access. Even if they join the virtual network also, they can't access if they don't have the right access. Once they join the virtual network, they need to log in, right? Without login, they can't access. So again, they need to have the right permissions. The same in the public cloud also. When you are trying to access some resources in the cloud, you need to have the right access. You should have username and password to log in into the server. If there is no username and password, you can't log in. But you know that your data is in the server. In such cases, if you forgot your password, then you can reach the data center support team. There is a separate data center support team. They call it as DCS team, data center support team. There are separate engineers. Even these data centers are located in remote locations or city outskirts. obviously there will be 2 to 3 engineers who will work in the data center 24/7 in shifts. There will be 2 to 3 engineers, not more than 3 engineers. Why? Because there is no work for them. Everything is maintained by machineries. Power supply is there, cooling system is there, the networking, the speeds, everything is maintained by the machines itself, the systems itself. Just they need to take care of, okay, power supply is on, cooling systems are running good, and there is no issues outside the area of data center. And nobody is entering the data center premises without permission. So they need to take care of the security. If you forgot the username or password, you can reach the cloud operator support team or you can reach the data center support team. If you just forget the password, you can directly reach the cloud operator team, and if you just say them, this is my subscription and this is my server, they will help you with the new password. But if something goes wrong with the server, they will reach out to the data center team who will be in the data center location, and they will ask them, so and so user is not able to access this server, even though they have right username and right password, but he is not able to access the server. Can you please check the power supply and the server health so that I can inform the user that the server is in trouble, sir, give us some time, we will fix the issue. When you have hundreds of millions of servers in one data center, it is obvious that one data center may get some problem. So in such cases, the support team will reach the data center engineers and they will tell them there is some user who is not able to access the data in the server, and this is the server name and this is the IP address. By getting the server name and IP address, the data center engineer will trace the server location and he will go there and he will verify. Maybe there is a power supply off. Maybe the server is at 100% CPU usage, so he can't serve the other user. He will log into the server and he will verify why the CPU is 100% usage. Then he will clean all the other processors which are running on high CPU usage. Once the CPU usage comes down and the RAM gets free, then the user will be permitted to log in into the server. So this is how data center operations runs. This is how users use the cloud data centers. And these are the difference between public cloud and private cloud. Public cloud can be accessible from anywhere in the world. Private cloud also can be accessible from anywhere in the world, but you need to join the virtual network first, the private network. Even after joining the private network also, you should have right access and right permissions to access the data inside the server. Okay, we got to know what is public cloud, what is private cloud. Then what is hybrid cloud? Hybrid cloud is nothing but combination of these two. Hybrid cloud is nothing but combination of these two. So what I said earlier, public cloud is something like in a set of racks, okay, in a rack, in a set of servers, you are going to give all these servers to people who can access it from anywhere in the world. But what happens when there is a lot of demand to the cloud operators or data center operators, when there is a lot of demand, sorry. Yeah, sorry guys. Uh, when there is a lot of demand for private servers, many people asking only private servers. So then what they do in the same set of servers, okay, in the same set of servers or in the same data center, they will allocate some servers to public and they will allocate some servers to private. They will allocate some servers to public and some servers to private. The combination of both public and private is called hybrid cloud. The combination of both public and private cloud is called hybrid cloud. If you see the data center image, okay, we have multiple blocks, right? We have multiple blocks. In this, first block may be a public cloud, second block may be a private cloud, but the third block, it's a combination of both public and private cloud. Some servers may be used by public people, some servers may be used by private people, I mean private cloud. So this is how combination works. Hybrid cloud means within the same set of servers or within the same rack, you are going to have both public and private servers, public and private clouds. So just be sure that Cloud is nothing but set of servers which are located in data center, and data center is something collection of servers are the big area where the servers is located. Why these physical data centers are referred as cloud means these physical data centers, even though they are physical, but the person who is accessing or who is using these servers, he is not able to see them, he will not be able to see them. I already given example why they came up with the idea cloud means cloud will have lot of space. So how the clouds stores the rainwater, in the same way the cloud can store many data, many resources inside it, and the cloud can be visible from anywhere in the world based on your time zone, like how the moon is visible. How the moon is visible to all the people based on the time zone. The same way the cloud is visible based on your time zone. It's not about the time zone. It's not that in the morning time the moon is not there. Yes, it is there, but you just can't see the moon. In the same way, the cloud is there at 24/7, 365 days. Just whenever you want to access, you can access it from anywhere in the world. If it is public, no need of no need of private network. You can access it from internet cafes. But if it is private, you need to have separate VPN connection. This is all about data centers and clouds. Okay, we came to know what is cloud and what is data center. Then what is cloud computing? Why people are saying cloud computing? Okay, cloud is nothing but there are lot of servers. Inside the servers there is lot of data. Whenever I want to access the data, and the cloud operators will give me those resources on rental basis. If I want to have 100 GB space, I need to pay 100 rupees per month or per day. If you want to have 1000 GB, then you need to pay 1000 rupees. So it is purely on rental basis. Some will give you on hourly basis, some will give you on monthly basis, and some will give you on annual subscription basis also. So then what is cloud computing? It's very simple, guys. Cloud computing is nothing but utilizing the cloud resources or creating a resources which can be hosted in cloud. Utilizing the cloud resources or creating a resources which can be hosted in cloud. Now let me give you an example. If I go to, I have account in cloud and my cloud is Azure, okay, Microsoft Azure. So this is how I log in into account. If you see, there are multiple resources available in this Microsoft Azure cloud. This is Microsoft Azure. There are multiple resources. I can have virtual machines, I can have storage accounts, I can have databases, I can have virtual networks. We already taken this point, virtual network. I can have databases, anything. So all these are already created. All these are already created and they are readily available for a user to use for their purpose. If you want to use it for mobile, there are something. If you want to use it storage, there are something. If you want to use it security, there are some security aspects. And if you want to use for some DevOps, there is some DevOps things. Then AI, artificial intelligence, mixed reality. If you want to monitor something, there are some monitors available. So these all resources are readily available. These are created by someone and they are hosted in cloud, Microsoft Azure cloud. If you want to use these resources, if you want to satisfy your needs by using these resources, the work you are doing is nothing but cloud computing. Okay, you are using cloud resources and you are doing some activities which will satisfy your purpose, which will satisfy your requirement. That is nothing but cloud computing. The other way, let's say I want to have a Android, I want to have an Android device in cloud. I don't think that Android is there. Let me have, for suppose, okay, yeah, let me do. There is no Android resources available in the cloud. This point I came to know, okay, there is no Android devices available in the cloud. Then you can create the Android device. And upload it to cloud, some cloud. There are multiple clouds in the market. AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud. Upload it, okay, and keep it there for other people to use. Then that's also called as cloud computing. You are using the readily available resources and you are satisfying your requirement, that is cloud computing, or else you are creating resources which can be used by some other people and hosting them in the cloud. That is also called as cloud computing. Cloud computing is nothing but using the cloud resources in a way that your requirement will be satisfied. For suppose if I want to have a virtual machine, yes, virtual machines are already readily available. Virtual networks are readily available. If you want to monitor your application which is already running in somewhere, just a second guys. These all comes under monitoring aspects. There are Azure monitors for SAP solutions, general monitors, Azure monitors for private link scopes, Datadog, log analytics, workload insights. So if you have already resources in your local area, if you have already resources in your local server room, if you want to monitor their performance, you can opt for any monitor and you just need to connect this monitor with the resources. Now you can monitor those resources without logging into the server from this monitor itself. This is kind of cloud computing only. So you are performing some activity by using cloud resources, or you are creating some resources. If anyone of you know about Jenkins, what is Jenkins? Jenkins is a CI/CD platform. CI/CD platform where I can perform continuous integration and continuous deployment. But if I want to use Jenkins, I need to download Jenkins and install Jenkins. But if I go with this Jenkins server, this is readily available for me. Once I create this Jenkins server, inside the Jenkins server, the Jenkins is already downloaded, installed and configured for me. I just need to log in and access the Jenkins. But in general purpose, if you want to use Jenkins, you need to download Jenkins and install and configure it one of the servers. But here, the Jenkins is readily available. This means someone they installed Jenkins and they configured Jenkins in one of the servers, and now they are giving you that server for rental basis. It's not a blank virtual machine. The virtual machine has already installed with Jenkins. And this virtual machine is having Windows Server 2019 OS. You see Jenkins on Windows Server 2019. That means inside the server, the user has installed first Windows Server 2019 and on top of Windows 2019, he installed Jenkins. This is how they will create new resources for the customer purpose. So these are already there. All the plugins are already configured inside the Jenkins. You no need to do, you just need to log in and use the Jenkins server. It is readily available for you. But in general purpose, if you want to use Jenkins, you need to download, you need to install and you need to configure. Everything is a manual task. So this is what cloud computing. Creating resources for cloud or utilizing the resources which are already there in the cloud. So this is how cloud computing happens. Whether you can utilize the resources which are available in the cloud or you can create resources which can be used by some other people. So now you are saying, okay, cloud computing is utilizing the resources or utilizing the services which are readily available. So is there any ways that I can use these resources? Yes, there are 3 ways you can use the resources. Before going to the, let me show you some random image which will give you the definitions. Yeah, no. So these are like different types of cloud. We have seen public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. And another thing is there, community cloud. This is not majorly used, but this is there. If you want to opt for this community cloud, you can opt. What is community cloud? See, we all are having Facebook accounts. I think most of you people have Facebook accounts. But inside the Facebook, there are some groups. Groups are created based on your interests. So if you are interested in Microsoft Azure, there is a separate group for Microsoft Azure. If you are interested in movie news, there is a separate group for movie news. If you are interested in politics, there is a separate group for politics. But within the Facebook, we are having separate groups. So where you will get the updates related to only that aspect. Maybe politics or movies or sports or cloud or software or anything. The same way, in community cloud, what happens is the people who are interested in some specific topics. Let's say, if I will always work on Android applications. I never touch iOS and I will never touch another OS. I will always work on Android applications. So if you want to know the latest updates of Android applications and if you want to create something new in Android application, then you can create a separate cloud called community cloud where you will define all your Android applications only, no other applications. All your Android applications only. Then the other people who are interested in your applications, they can join this cloud network. This is how community cloud came, like how the Facebook groups are there. We all are there in the cloud, but if you are open, then you call it as public cloud. If you are closed, then it called as private cloud. Then you are combination of both public and private, then hybrid cloud. What is community cloud? Community cloud is nothing but private cloud. Community cloud is nothing but private cloud, but it is dedicated to some resources only. It is dedicated to some resources only. If you are working on storage accounts, the entire team of you or entire work in the cloud happens, it will be related to storage accounts only. And again, make sure that community cloud is nothing but private cloud. It's not public. If you want to make this public, then there is no concept of community cloud. Or else you can keep this open. Even in Facebook also, there are some groups which you can join without approval and some you can join with approval. Some people will call it as public group, some people call it as private group. So once you join the group, the owner of the group need to give you approval. Some public groups can join directly. So community cloud, most of the times community cloud will be private cloud only. But based on the concepts or interest, it can be private cloud. So the best example for community cloud is your office network. The best example for community cloud is your office network. If in your office you are using cloud, obviously that will be community cloud for your company. Let's say if you are in Wipro, the entire cloud which is owned by Wipro can be called as community cloud. Why? Because only Wipro users will be logging into the network. Only Wipro users will be logging into the network. But if the Wipro user is in America, Africa, Australia, Europe and India, there are 5 regions and 5 locations. For these 5 people, the community cloud is nothing but public cloud. But outside world, that is private cloud. For these 5 persons who are employees of Wipro, for them that is public. Why? Because he can access the same cloud from anywhere in the world from their office laptop, not from the internet cafe. From their office laptop, they can access the cloud from anywhere in the world. That means within the Wipro network, that is public only. But outside Wipro, that is private. And even for outside people also, hey man, that is community cloud man, that is only for Wipro people, not for other people. So the best example for a community cloud is office network, office cloud, personal cloud. Okay, now we are already seeing what is cloud computing. Cloud computing is nothing but using the resources or services available in the cloud or creating the resources or services which can be used by other people. So this way you can what you say, contribute. Yeah, this way we can contribute to the cloud operators. Hey man, I have created some new service which can be used by other people and it is very useful. You just host my service in the cloud. So whenever other people use this service, you collect rent from them and pay me. So this is how you contribute to the cloud computing. So in cloud computing, there are majorly three aspects: IaaS, PaaS, SaaS. Okay. So when you say on-site means everything is owned by you. This is something like your own office server room. If anyone of you already working in offices, in your offices, there will be a separate section called server room. No one will have access except the network engineers or IT engineers. Why? Because they will enter inside just to see the health of the servers. They can't access the data inside the servers. They will enter the server room just to see the health of the servers, whether the servers are running fine, the power supply is good or not, cooling system is running fine, all the networks, all the wires are connected properly. They will enter the server room just to verify everything is running good or not. They can't see what is there in the servers. Why? Because they don't have access. This is the concept. Data centers or servers are highly secured and highly restricted with access. Okay. So cloud computing can be performed in three ways: IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. What is IaaS? Infrastructure as a service. That means you are going to use the resources in the cloud which are infrastructure basis. For suppose if you want to have a virtual machine, okay, if you want to have a virtual machine, you can buy a virtual machine for rental basis. That means they are going to give you the blank server, empty server. This is something like purchasing an empty laptop. When you purchase an empty laptop, there is nothing. When you purchase an empty laptop, there is nothing. The same way when you rent, when you subscribe a virtual machine in the cloud, there is nothing. It's an empty virtual machine. You need to install the OS. Okay, you need to install the OS. You need to install the runtimes or middlewares. Runtime means like Java or .NET, there will be a runtime. To run an application, there should be a runtime. And middleware is something. Middleware is something. Our browser comes under middleware. Okay, if you see, I am accessing my Gmail from this browser, and this Gmail is located in some random server. So for my Gmail account and for the server, my browser acts as middleware. Okay, in the same way runtime, if you are having Java or .NET, that is runtime. And then data. Data means hard disks. You need to create the data, you need to store the data, and you need to secure the data. And the applications. Applications are something like apps. Maybe VLC player, media player, Google Chrome, browser, everything. All you need to install on your own. That is nothing but taking a blank server, infrastructure. You are taking infrastructure. He will give you blank hard disk also. Inside the blank hard disk, you need to save data, you need to access data. This is called infrastructure as a service. Then second thing is platform as a service. So platform as a service. So platform as a service means you are going to get a virtual machine. You are going to get a virtual machine where OS, middleware, and runtime is already installed. Where OS, middleware, sorry, and runtime is already installed. That means you are purchasing a laptop with OS. Obviously, you have options, right? There are some companies, even while purchasing laptop, you will get without OS or with OS. With OS, that means you are going to get the laptop with Windows OS. When the Windows OS, sorry, when the Windows OS is already there in the laptop, you can directly save your data. And when you have OS, obviously you will get the media player ready. So directly you can play songs, you can watch movies. It's just that you need to load the data, and if you want any extra applications, you can load those applications. So and if you want any extra applications, not the media players, let's say for suppose middleware in the sense MS Office. Some people may give you MS Office readily on the laptop. So just you need to load the data and use the data. And if you want any extra applications, you can install those applications. This is called platform as a service. Just a second, guys. Then the final one is software as a service. Software as a service means, let's say if you want to watch a movie, okay? If you want to watch a movie, where this movie located? The movie located in Netflix. The movie located in Netflix. So to watch the movie in Netflix, do you need laptop? No, you just need an account. You just need an account. If you have the account, you can go to any internet cafe. You can go to any internet cafe and you can watch the movie. That's it. You no need to install player. You no need to load the movie. Nothing you need to do. You can just directly go and play the movie inside the Netflix website. So Netflix is a SaaS service, software as a service. Okay, Netflix is a SaaS service, software as a service. Windows operating system is a PaaS service, platform as a service. That means once you have the Windows operating system, you can install any application on top of the Windows. So leave about Netflix, maybe Netflix is a random example, but take Microsoft family, Office 365. Office 365, which is nothing but the cloud version of MS Office. Office 365, which is nothing but the cloud version of MS Office. That is SaaS service, software as a service. So what Microsoft did? Microsoft installed MS Office on cloud servers, and they are allowing you to use all the services like MS Word, MS Paint, MS PowerPoint, MS Excel. All these are already installed on cloud. It's just that you need to create an account and you can use all the. You can save your documents, you can write your documents, you can create PowerPoint presentations, everything is readily available. And PaaS is Windows OS. So when you are getting a laptop with readily installed Windows OS, that is, you are getting a PaaS service. OS is ready for you. You can install all your applications, you can upload all your data, you can play movies, you can run movies, you can create files, everything. And infrastructure as a service means buying a laptop without any software, without any installation. It's blank laptop, just a hardware. Infrastructure is nothing but hardware. You are purchasing hardware, like you are purchasing monitor, CPU, hard disk. Then you need to assemble, you need to install. You are purchasing hardware. Everything is on rental basis. Infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. Everything is on rental basis. So if you purchase infrastructure, you need to take care. They will give you only power supply and network supply. If something goes wrong in the operating system, you need to fix the issue. Why? Because they only gave you hardware. But when you go with platform as a service, if there is something issue with the operating system, they will fix the issue with the operating system. Why? Because you are paying money for all the things, but the data and applications are owned by you. If there is some issue in the data, you need to fix the data issue. But if there is some issue in the operating system, you need to, they will fix the issue with the operating system. Coming to software as a service, if there is any issue with any application or any data, they will fix the issue. So the color coding says you, the blue color, okay, the blue color is you are managing and the red color is service provider managing. Okay, apart from this, there are multiple services provided by cloud providers. There are multiple services provided by cloud providers, like virtual desktop as a service, storage as a service, network as a service, security as a service, Active Directory as a service. There are many things, but most of them fall under any one of these category. If you take storage as a service, the storage comes under IaaS. Okay, if you take runtime as a service, the runtime comes under as platform. If you take application as a service, the application comes under SaaS. These three are major cloud computing models: IaaS, PaaS, SaaS. The other thing, it can be anything. It comes under any one of these category. Okay. And finally, I want to give these cloud providers have their presence in multiple locations. I will give you. If you take Microsoft Azure Cloud, they have 60 plus regions. See, these all are nothing but data center locations. These all are nothing but data center locations. If you are from any of the country, just you can decide whether I can use Microsoft Azure in my country or not. Even the picture itself shows that how the usage is going in America and Europe. There are hundreds of data centers. But if you see in India, there are only 3: South India, West India, Central India. And if you see Africa, again there are only 3: South Africa North, South Africa West. This is Azure regions. Azure is giving you accessibility to all these data centers from anywhere in the world. If you are public, if you are going to opt for public cloud, you can access any of these data centers. Okay. And in the same way, you will have Amazon. In Amazon, just a second. AWS locations. Yeah. So this is where AWS is located. Okay. This is where AWS is. By seeing the image itself, you will come to know how many data centers Microsoft Azure has and how many data centers AWS has. Even though there are a lot of data centers in Microsoft and there are very less data centers in Azure, in AWS. AWS is very famous. This is because AWS is the person who first started this cloud business. AWS is the person who first started cloud business. That's why there are many companies which are still with AWS and slowly they are moving towards Azure. Why? Because Azure providing lot of services. If they want to have something in South America, Azure providing 3 locations: Chile, Brazil, and Brazil Southeast. Whereas in Amazon, they are providing only one region, that is Brazil. Sorry. So that is only in Brazil. And I told you right already, in India, Amazon has already data center in Mumbai, and in Hyderabad, they are going to plan. See, Hyderabad coming soon. So I already told you this topic. In India, Amazon has only one data center, which is in Bombay, and in Hyderabad, they are planning. It's coming soon. But if you see in India, we have 3 locations. So recently, NASA has associated with Microsoft to monitor their satellite performance. Why NASA associated with Microsoft? Because Microsoft has their data centers across the globe. So they can monitor their satellite performances from anywhere in the world. Starting from West US to Japan. That means they covered the entire globe. So this way NASA can monitor their satellites from anywhere in the world. Even after Japan also, there is another dead end, New Zealand. They have the data center in New Zealand, which is the last place of the world. And if you guys know, in New Zealand is the place where the first New Year occurs. Comparing with America, the New Year, the first sunrise will happen in New Zealand. That means from New Zealand to West America, NASA can monitor their satellites from anywhere in the world. That's the reason recently NASA associated with Microsoft to monitor their satellite performance. Okay. So this is what is public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, and what are all the cloud computing models: IaaS, PaaS, SaaS. And these are called Azure regions, and these are called Amazon regions. I'm done, guys. Any doubts?
Yeah, hi Rajesh, this is Sirish.
Yes, it.
I have one question. With this course, can we write the exam for both 104 and 400, both Azure and
No,
Azure DevOps?
no. So 104 is completely Azure administration and 400 is completely Azure DevOps expertise.
Okay.
Okay,
And
so yeah.
I mean, like with this course, like which exam we can attempt?
So you can attempt 400,
Okay.
but for 400, I believe 104 is prerequisite.
Okay.
Okay, but if you are going for 104 exam, then this is not suitable. Why? Because I will cover mostly Azure DevOps concept. I am just giving you idea on what is cloud computing. So I won't be going deep in Azure concepts.
Okay. I mean, like you're gonna explain like how the things work for the Azure DevOps with the pipeline, right?
Right,
Deploy.
right.
And do you include in the Kubernetes also in this section?
No, not it. We will go up to Docker and I will give you brief idea on Kubernetes. There will be no demo on Kubernetes, but I will give you what is Kubernetes.
Okay. Uh, can you go through? Can you go walk through me the document which you showed just now, like the public code and I mean, like what are the things we'll cover in the training?
Content of the
Content. Yep.
course.
Yep.
No, Shiva will share you the document if you want.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything, guys? Yeah, if you are good to close, then bye.
సార్
Sure.
రాజేష్
Sir,
సార్
Thank you.
శివ అండి
చెప్పండి సార్.
అయిపోయిందా క్లాస్ ఇది
Yes, done, sir. I'm logging off. Okay.